Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with KDY TV with Good Morning Oxnard. And as you know, we have very special people coming on our show. But when I think about the person we're about to talk to, when you take two separate words, care and giver, and you put those together, you have quite a synergy of a power of someone this lady, Tammy, actually represents. So with that, I want to introduce you to Tammy Glenn, and she is from the Caregivers here in Ventura County, and she's got a lot of great things to say. So anyway, Tammy, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
You're exciting.
Thank you so much. I love talking about caregivers. It's one of my favorite topics. So.
You seem like you've done this before, so I'm not dealing with the rookie, I can tell that.
Well, we've got a great organization, and when I talk to you, I actually feel like I represent hundreds of seniors in Ventura County and hundreds of volunteers that work with us to support them. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Now, how did you get started? Somebody just doesn't all of a sudden wake up and say, I think I'll do this.
Well, I kind of feel like my personal life and my professional life collided when Caregivers came together as an opportunity for me. And I guess the way that happened, my professional background is in major gift fundraising and public relations. I was a special sections editor at a newspaper for a little while, and then on the personal side, I was actually an informal caregiver for close to 20 years to my mother. So she had an accident when I was 8 years old that disabled her from head to toe, and there was not a resource like this that I was aware of in our neighborhood, and so I see tremendous value in this organization, and it's celebrating 30 years. I am privileged to be at the helm and leading this. So.
It's quite a good cause, and when you think about it, the reality is majority of us, if not all of us, are going to be at that stage one of these days.
Yeah, we don't see old age becoming passé. We haven't figured a way around that
yet. We're kind of like in denial about it, I'm just going to look like this and be able to walk and talk and do everything when I'm 150,
It's funny too, because everyone ages so differently.
Yes.
We have volunteers. We have and I think he's 80 years old now, rides his bicycle to the office all the time. I mean, he's out and about. He's volunteering, and he is caring for a woman who is 101. So, and then we've had, people in their 60s. We have a high school program with kids that are 17, 18 years old that go out after school, supervised, and they offer their volunteer services. So,
wow.
So, there's something for everybody at every age, I guess.
Now, wow, it's just what I want to ask is, what are some of the things you actually provide these very special people, especially in Ventura County or Oxnard?
So the organization serves, our mission is to serve Ventura County. We currently are in 6 out of 10 cities. Oxnard is one of our larger communities. We play close
it's the largest municipality in Ventura County.
20% of our seniors that we serve in
what would that number be? I know that's too much detail.
Probably about 125 seniors in the city of Oxnard.
Wow.
And the hallmark of what we do, which is just so sweet and simple, is we match a volunteer with a senior, and we try to look for things to build a friendship on. One of the first things we look for, do you live in the same neighborhood together? Because we want it to be convenient for a friendship to develop. And then we look for other qualities and commonalities, hobbies, things like that. Our newsletter has 2 gentlemen that we introduced a couple years ago, and our program manager, Courtney Darrow, just had a good feeling when she interviewed the volunteer. She says, I have someone in mind for you. So we're not we're not real high tech. A lot of this is I think I know somebody, in terms of
I think that's still important, no matter how technology goes.
The beauty of it, because we've been around for 30 years, we've had relationships that go back 20 years.
That long.
And so that becomes more than a volunteer relationship. In some cases, it becomes, a second family.
That's interesting. And then do you have do these people have family around that you support? I would think that, besides just the person you're taking care of, are you having to deal with the entourage of the...
Well, we try to focus on seniors that do not have
Okay,
a
that
support
makes sense.
system. That doesn't mean that we won't enroll you in caregivers, but that's kind of our target market, if you will. And some people may have family living locally, but a lot of us are working full time, and you have so much going on in your life. But in a lot of the cases, families are just living across the country now. I mean, think about the disconnect that's happened. And so Caregivers steps in and offers a little bit of support. Our volunteers, don't give a lot of time, but they give a lot. So we ask them to commit about 2 to 4 hours a week.
Right.
It's all neighborly deeds. It's not professional services.
Right.
So it's something you'd ask the neighbor to do. Could you help me take the trash cans out? Would you help prepare a meal? If you're running to the grocery store, would you pick up some milk and bread for me?
So it's a real basic type
Really
of things.
basic neighborly deeds. That's what Sister Patricia Callahan, our founding executive director.
Where is she located at?
She's here in Ventura,
I'd love to meet her.
We're actually celebrating her and the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, who wrote the original grant proposal and got us off the ground.
Wow.
We were one of 25 in the country that started in 1984, and today I'm delighted to tell you that there are hundreds of these similar type organizations like Caregivers offering services, many of them to seniors, but to vulnerable populations that needs a support system, and they're free services. We survive on contributions from the community.
Which is important.
It is very important, and it's a beautiful day to wake up and know that the community rallies around this organization and provides this kind of support to our elderly population.
Do you work with couples who are at that stage together, or is it usually single individuals?
No, we have couples that have been in the program. We have lots of singles. I would say, primarily it seems like we have a lot of elderly women. About 80% of the folks that we serve are female. But we have couples, we have men, we have,
such a diversity.
The cool thing to be attracted to the type of work that we do.
Right.
Think about the qualities that a person would have. They're compassionate, they're empathetic, they're tender-hearted. I am just surrounded every day by the most beautiful group of people, and it's really restores my faith, I guess.
Yeah, so you're talking about just your staff, but then also the people who are
our
your
volunteers.
clients.
We have 377 volunteers.
Wow,
that,
that's some good people.
Share those type of qualities, and then the range of seniors, run the gamut. Some people are very low income. Some people aren't, but they just don't have that family support, and so we're able to, isolation and loneliness is a huge piece of the aging puzzle.
No, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
that's
and,
important.
And so if you think about that, when you're lonely, a lot of it's a domino effect. It triggers depression, and depression then leads to maybe you're not eating as well, and so there's this kind of spiral effect. So a neighborly deed is a huge gift.
You're sparking some things in me, and it's things I want to say, but when I get a chance to engage with, let's call it somebody who's at that particular age, there's such a need for them just to talk and share memories and just some of the most small things.
And we have so much to learn from their experiences.
Absolutely. You work with many veterans or people
we probably have that are self-identified. We know about 10% of the population we serve are veterans. I think it's higher than that. I think we don't always know everything about a person.
It's like, I've got the points. I really don't know the stats, but it's there. I know you're working with veterans, and they have a lot to share in regards to their life, what took place, relationships.
We have also a number of, a handful of Holocaust survivors. And so when our Building Bridges Intergenerational program goes out and visits with veterans and Holocaust survivors, they may not even be doing, any tasks around the house. They may just sit and visit. The value of that exchange is, you can't put a price on it.
I'm getting goose pimply all inside because, I try to find as I get older, it's just kind of like the need to share, because like a certain point in your life you look back and you go, wow, this is a lot of territory.
If I knew then,
yeah,
I know
and
now.
I want to share it. I just don't want to keep it there. But the service you provide, and I don't get no percentages, but just the service to be able just to listen to somebody, and is amazing. And I know the food's important. I know the trash is important, and all that type of stuff.
We work with 60 organizations and probably 140 different programs within the county to serve seniors. Ventura County is very thoughtful in all the different organizations that come together to meet nutrition and transportation and legal and veteran and all these different needs that people have. So that's a piece of it, but when you boil it down to a conversation between a teenage kid and a 80-something-year-old person with all this world experience, that's a pretty special thing. And a lot of the kids don't have that. Their grandparents may not be living locally.
No, and just the ability. I think it's just such a good life experience. As a teenager, to be able to learn how to listen to somebody.
I was on my way back, dropping a couple of the kids off after a training program, and we do a program called Walking in Their Shoes. So we try and help kids understand what an elderly person is going through, and we give them lessons in how to, if you talk in a lower voice, sometimes, a senior can hear you a little bit better because of the way they're processing, their ears are working now.
Right.
Anyway, we got in the car and the two young ladies were in the back, and she says, I can't wait to call my grandma. I'm pretty sure that she's going to be able to hear me so much better now that I know. I just didn't understand that she was hearing me this way. And then the other young lady said, and the macular degeneration, we have glasses that simulate different types of visual challenges.
Right.
She said, I really didn't appreciate how challenging that was and how scary that must be, for my grandmother or aunt or whoever it was. And I just, I'm driving along thinking, yes, this is what a nice thing to hear.
I'm not a doctor, a medical doctor, but when you think of probably the medications that elderly people take, and the concept of just being able to talk and listen, how much that's medicine for what they're going through.
Yeah, it is good medicine.
I get kind of a little afraid to ask this question, but I mean, are there people probably you don't know about that don't know about this program? Because I was quite surprised, at the number, but are there people out there possibly you don't know about? Or are you probably at your capacity in regards to your resources, but...
Well, we can grow really as much as our community allows us to grow in terms of the contributions that are made to support us. And I have to give a plug to 3 corporate sponsors that have really stepped up. And I just think it's so thoughtful of Amgen, who has supported this organization for 20 plus years.
Wow.
Kaiser Permanente Foundation, which has stepped up in the last few years, and the Gene Haas Foundation. These are major gifts, and when you have that kind of influx of funding on an annual basis for a nonprofit, it really helps you strategize and grow for the future. So when we talk about numbers, we have close to 30,000 homebound seniors in our county, and so to me that's our target market. But we have a very large senior population, one of the larger senior populations in the country, concentrated here in the county. And we also have the oldest of the oldest over the age of 85. So if you're thinking you're old at 60, rethink that, because now 85 is the new 60. And so, responding to that need as people are aging is an important part of the strategy, and identifying those funds that are going to come through so that we can step up to the plate.
It's, I mean, how do people find out about you? That's what kind of comes to my
Oh,
mind.
well, seniors, once you start poking around, if you need something, you're probably going to find your way to Caregivers. We work
Okay.
very tightly with the County Area Agency on Aging, and a host of different organizations, and we refer back and forth to each other. And then we get incoming calls from family members that were on the internet looking for a support system. So it's getting the word out. It's word of mouth. I think probably the biggest thing to get for me is looking for volunteers who want to work with the senior community and who have a few hours a week to contribute and have that kind of heart and compassion and patience that it takes, and then also finding the donors that are going to come through. The seniors will find us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident.
Are some names, like you mentioned the county, other directors that you work with that we can give them a shout out, or remember?
Thanks to Victoria Jump is a wonderful leader in the Area Agency on Aging. I see good community leaders like Bonnie Weigel at Food Share, very concerned with senior nutrition, and we work with them all the time. When you're giving to our organizations, know that we really leverage our resources well together, I think.
Sorry to put you on the spot and pull you names out. I know you know probably a billion people, but even with Haas Automation, and it's funny how the name came up, but I'm afraid his last name, Peter, is one of the
Peter
people.
Zerhut.
Yeah, I want to kind of give him a shout out.
I would like to do that as well, and thanks to everyone at Haas. We try and take our high school kids over a couple times a year to do a tour of that manufacturing plant and give them insights into, career paths that they can take, and I think that's a nice piece. Really thankful for them.
Well, we talk about careers. Just because you are helping your organization does not mean you're going to go into caregiving. But as I said, the abilities to learn how to listen, that's something that's valuable to put on a resume.
Absolutely.
So I can go another 2 hours. I don't know about you, but
I could
I'm getting
too.
I'm gonna hurt you real bad, Peter, if you don't stop this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What you do is so vital. And this is Tammy Glenn. It's her middle initial is I, but there is no I in team, I guess, or whatever they say.
That's sweet.
But
Thank you.
this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with KDY TV. Until next time.